misplace our stuff. And sometimes you obviously forget where you put it, and you think you actually lose it, but it ends up being in a place where you didn't realize you put it because you weren't paying attention. And trust me, I do this a lot. Hello everybody, it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you didn't already. I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoon sometimes, and I apologize for the weird lighting on my face. It's the sun peeking through my window right over here, if you can see that. So that's why I have like a random sun glare on my face right now. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. But anyway, today in this video, I'm going to tell you guys the story about the time I thought I lost my backpack at school. This is a story about the time I couldn't find my backpack at school, and I was looking everywhere for it, only to find out that I had already brought it to the classroom with me, and I didn't realize that I left it. I just put it where I just didn't pay attention to where I put it. And this is a story just to teach you guys. Sometimes you have those moments where you think you lose something, but it ends up being in the classroom. And sometimes that's not really funny because that makes the teacher irritated that you left the classroom only to find out your backpack was in the classroom. And sometimes it may seem like an excuse just to get out of the classroom. So just keep in mind, always pay attention to where you put your backpack, and just make sure you know where you put it so you can always pay attention. Oh, and I forgot to mention that this is going to be a knit with me story time. As you can see, I'm knitting a project right here. And I'm going to get started, and I hope this story entertains you. So this all started about 16 years ago. I was a freshman in high school. I was getting ready to go to my last period of the day, which was my sixth period, where I was a TA at an Act Life Skills class for people who had learning disabilities. I was actually supposed to be a student in that class, but for some strange reason, I ended up being more helpful than being a student in the class. So I ended up helping everyone else in the class. So I became more of a TA than a student. So I ended up becoming a TA for the class. And so I was working in I went to go to that class after lunch, and then I don't pay attention, and I forgot where I had put I couldn't remember if I had brought my backpack into the class with me. So I asked the teacher, do you mind if I just go and look for my backpack? I think I left it outside when I was eating lunch. So I go, and he said, sure. And he was super nice. So I left the classroom. I walked around looking for my backpack, and I ran into a yard duty asking her if she had seen it, and she was really nice, and she had told me she hadn't seen it, but she said she would keep an eye out for me just to be safe. So then I go and look for my backpack. I can't find it anywhere outside because the last place I remember having it with me was eating lunch outside. So then all of a sudden, another teacher who volunteered in the classroom with me comes outside and tells me,
Mena, we found your backpack. You had brought it into the classroom.
So I'm like, I did? Because I didn't see my backpack because I didn't remember bringing it in. So I go back to the classroom with the teacher that I was with, and the teacher who was in charge of the class had told me,
Mena, we found your backpack. You had put it behind a shelf or whatever, and it was there the entire time.
So the teacher is holding my backpack, and I'm like, oh, and I kind of start laughing, but the teacher wasn't laughing at all. He didn't seem too happy about that. So suddenly he tells me,
Mena, that's not a good thing. You're supposed to be helpful and blah, 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 blah. You can't be acting like these kids and blah, 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 blah. These kids do this all the time where they leave their stuff and they forgot it. Blah, 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 blah. a lot. You're supposed to be helpful. You're supposed to be a TA and blah, 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 blah. Blah. You gotta make sure you know where you put your backpack, because I can't have you being like these kids who think they lose stuff and then have to leave the classroom and yada, yada, yada.
So once he tells me this, I feel kind of bad and I apologize to the teacher, but he was so nice about it. He said, that's okay. You just need to be careful and make sure you put your backpack where you can see it. So he put my backpack, the teacher was super nice. He had put my backpack by the other two aides' backpacks so I would know where it was. And I apologize again to the teacher for doing that. And I felt kind of bad, but he was so nice. And he just told me just to pay attention to where I put my stuff so then this problem wouldn't happen again. And I'm glad it never did happen again, because I felt bad kind of wasting part of the class time just trying to find my backpack, only to find out it was in the classroom. And I definitely did learn to be more careful where I put my stuff. And even though I'm still not very careful where I put my stuff, I'm still in the process of trying to figure it out. But anyway, you get the point. Sorry, my knitting needle unscrewed. But anyway, the moral of the story is you should always keep track of where you leave your stuff, especially if you're a TA in a classroom helping kids with special needs in the class, because you don't want to make it seem like you're acting like the kids if you're supposed to be helpful to the teacher, and also it may make the teacher think you're trying to look for an excuse to get out of the class. So you kind of should always pay attention to where you put your stuff in the class and not ask to leave the classroom to go look for your stuff only to find out that you had already brought it to the classroom with you. So please keep that in mind when you're putting your stuff down. Make sure you pay attention to where you put it down so you know where it is. So that was the story about how I thought I lost my backpack at school. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoon sometimes, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you haven't already, make sure to like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe. You're supposed to be helping me. You shouldn't be doing this stuff and blah, 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 blah. It's not really a good thing and blah, 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 blah. And you did leave the class too.